Welcome everyone, and thank you for being here today. I'm delighted to introduce our presentation titled History of Information Technology. I'm Assoc, Prof. Yasser M. Madany, a senior member of IEEE and URSI. In this session, we'll explore the fascinating evolution of information technology, covering key milestones and developments. We'll take a brief journey through its history, so let's get started and enjoy the presentation together. Let's take a moment to look at the outline for today's presentation. Here, I'll walk you through the key points we'll be covering. First, we'll start with an overview of the main concepts to set the stage. Then, we'll dive into the specifics of each section, making sure to highlight the most important ideas along the way. I'll also connect each point back to our overall theme, so you can see how everything fits together. This outline is designed to give you a clear roadmap of what to expect, helping you follow along and understand the big picture as we go through the details. Today, I want to highlight just how crucial IT has become for organizations worldwide. In fact, IT investments, which include computers, networks, software, and employees, are now some of the largest expenses most organizations face. It, at its core, is about using computers and networking technologies to store, process, and retrieve information efficiently. Starting back in the 1990s, computers really took off in popularity. Then, as we moved into the 21st century, something remarkable happened. Computers started connecting to each other through the internet. This connection gave birth to the field we now call information technology, or IT for short. In the first half of the 21st century, digital information technologies, also known as DIT, have become integral to answering many everyday questions. Think about it. How do you spend your free time? How do you communicate with your friends? How do you complete your schoolwork? How do you find the information you need? Or even, how do you buy things you like? All of these activities are increasingly driven by digital technologies. So, understanding IT's evolution helps us see how deeply integrated these tools are in our daily lives and how vital they are for organizations to succeed today. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. The ENIAC was truly groundbreaking for its time. It could read inputted data, hold information in memory, and step through programming instructions. It was capable of creating and calling subprograms, looping through code, and printing output, which was a huge advancement in computing capabilities. Fast forward over 100 years to 1946, when a team at the University of Pennsylvania announced the first programmable, general-purpose computer, also called the ENIAC. This was a major milestone, showing how far technology had come from the earlier mechanical devices. Speaking of early computers, Charles Babbage is often credited with building the first mechanical computer back in the 1820s. His work laid important groundwork for the entire field. When we look at the history of information technology, it's really a story that includes both hardware and software development. It's a continuous evolution that has shaped the way we process, store, and share information today. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. Let's start by looking at the full forms of some of the most popular operating systems. Windows stands for Wide Interactive Network Development for Office Work Solution. It's a name that highlights its purpose, enabling users to develop and interact within a networked environment easily, especially for office tasks. Next, we have Linux, which humorously stands for Lovable Intellect, not using XP. While this is more of a playful acronym, it also hints at Linux's reputation for being a lovable and intelligent alternative to other operating systems, especially Windows XP. Then there's Unix, also known as UNICS, which stands for Uniplexed Information Computing System. Unix has been around since the early days of computing and is known for its stability and versatility. It's the foundation for many other operating systems. Speaking of popularity, Windows remains one of the most widely used operating systems today, especially on desktops and in data centers. Its user-friendly interface and extensive software support make it a go-to choice for many users. Now, let's understand what an operating system really is. Think of it as the brain of the computer. It controls everything. From the moment you turn on your device, the OS manages all the hardware components and software processes. And when we talk about components like a mouse, keyboard, display monitor, motherboards, and storage drives, they're all part of the computer. But they only function together as a single, cohesive system when the operating system recognizes them and orchestrates their actions. It's like conducting a symphony, ensuring all parts work harmoniously to perform the tasks you request. Finally, a quick historical note. Back in 1971, AT&T, which was the dominant phone company at the time, developed an operating system called Unix. Over time, Unix and its variants, including Linux, which is now everywhere from servers to smartphones, have become fundamental to modern computing. So, understanding these systems and their development helps us appreciate how computers have evolved to serve us better, connecting hardware and software seamlessly to make our lives easier. Let's take a moment to explore how information technology actually began. This is a fascinating story that shows how far we've come. It all started with the need to process and manage information more efficiently. Early on, people relied on manual methods, which were slow and error-prone. Then, technological innovations began to emerge, like the invention of the computer. These early computers were huge, expensive, and primarily used for scientific calculations. Over time, advancements in hardware and software revolutionized the way we handle data. This evolution laid the foundation for the digital age we live in today. Understanding this history helps us appreciate the incredible progress and the role of technology in transforming our lives. It's a reminder of how innovation drives change, connecting to our overall theme of technological development and its impact. Let's take a closer look at the era of personal computers. This period marks a significant turning point in technology, where computers became accessible to everyday people, not just large corporations or government agencies. It's fascinating to see how the development of personal computers transformed the way we work, communicate, and learn. During this era, we saw the rise of iconic models like the Apple II and the IBM PC, which really set the stage for the personal computing revolution. These devices made computing power portable and affordable, allowing individuals to have their own machines at home or in the office. This development also sparked innovation in software, making it easier for users to perform tasks like word processing, data management, and eventually, internet browsing. It's important to recognize that this shift didn't just change technology. It fundamentally changed society by empowering individuals and fostering a culture of innovation and connectivity. Connecting this to the overall theme, the era of personal computers laid the groundwork for the digital world we live in today. It democratized access to information and set the stage for the rapid technological advancements we continue to see. Let's take a look at the era of networked computers and the internet. This period marked a huge shift in how we connect and share information. With the advent of networked computers, we moved from isolated machines to systems that could communicate with each other. This connectivity laid the foundation for the development of the internet, which transformed everything from business to entertainment. It's important to recognize how this era made information more accessible and fostered collaboration across the globe. This transition is a key milestone in understanding the evolution of technology and its impact on society, which ties directly into our overall theme of technological progress and innovation. Now, let's take a closer look at the Internet and the World Wide Web. The Internet is essentially a vast network that connects millions of computers around the world, allowing them to communicate with each other. It's the backbone of modern digital communication. The World Wide Web, on the other hand, is a system of interlinked hypertext documents and multimedia content that you can access via the Internet. Think of the web as the most popular way we use the Internet to browse websites, watch videos, shop online, and connect with others. Highlighting the key point here, the Internet is the infrastructure, the network itself, while the web is the interface that we use to navigate and make sense of all that information. Both are fundamental to how we access and share information today, supporting everything from personal communication to global commerce. Understanding this relationship is essential because it shows how the tools and technologies we use are interconnected and how they continue to evolve, shaping our digital lives. This connection underscores the overall theme of how technology transforms the way we communicate, work, and learn. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. While the iPhone's iOS is actually a version of Unix, Android is based on Linux, which is another Unix-compatible operating system. Linux was initially created in 1991 by Linus Torvalds when he was a student at the University of Helsinki in Finland. This foundation of Unix-like systems is key to understanding how many of our mobile devices operate today. In the past, Windows was the dominant operating system for personal computers, but things have shifted in the mobile era. Now, the two main players are Apple's iOS and Google's Android. These two systems are what power most smartphones around the world, making them the new standard. Because of this shift, the traditional phone has largely been replaced by a powerful mini-computer, a smartphone, that people carry everywhere in their pockets and purses. This evolution highlights how quickly computing technologies have advanced. We've gone from large, bulky computers to incredibly small, portable devices. And this rapid development is what we call the mobile revolution. It's a huge leap forward because it has fundamentally changed the way we access information, communicate, and use technology on a daily basis. It's a perfect example of the ongoing trend of shrinking and enhancing computing power, making technology more accessible and integrated into our lives. Did you know that the person often regarded as the world's first programmer was a woman, Ada Lovelace? Early on, women didn't get sufficient credit for their work in technology and computing. Despite their contributions, recognition was often delayed. For example, the dedicated team of women programmers who worked on the ENIAC, one of the earliest electronic computers, only received acknowledgement for their efforts in the 1980s. This highlights how women have historically been underappreciated in the tech field, but their impact has been profound and foundational. It's important to remember these stories as we continue to push for more diversity and recognition in technology today. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions or would like to follow up, please feel free to contact me. You can reach me via email at contact@madany.com or Dr. Yasser, madany@yahoo.com. Additionally, I'm active on IEEE at madany@IEEE.org. For more information about my work, projects, or publications, please visit my website at https://imadany.com. Once again, thank you all very much for your time and interest.